Good day, welcome to your news at noon on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Chief Executive Officer of Hess Corporation, John Hess, has told investors to brace for a major upgrade to the 11 billion barrels of oil equivalent resources discovered at the Stabroek Block. During the recently held Bank of America Securities Global Energy Conference, Hess said ExxonMobil Corporation's affiliate and operator of the block, Esso, marked 9 significant discoveries for 2022 alone. These discoveries have yet to be appraised for the number of barrels they hold. The Hess boss said this fantastic rate of exploration success, especially at one of the most prime pieces of oil real estate, is in keeping with the partner's drive to grow future cash flow for the shareholders. And in other news, after signing a 10-year frame agreement with ExxonMobil affiliate Esso for the supply of line pipe products last year, French company Vallourec has secured 3 major contracts to provide items for the oil company's upcoming Yellowtail and Uaru projects, as well as the gas energy venture set to bring natural gas from the seabed to land. Vallourec said it had won a major line pipe order from ExxonMobil Guyana. And Avinash Contracting and Scrap Metal Inc. has been awarded an $890 million contract to construct an administrative office at the Chedijagan International Airport. The award of this contract follows the completion of the $150 million expansion and rehabilitation of the airport, and we had reported that President Ali announced that the government intends to spend more money on a new terminal. And coming from Reuters, Puerto Rican municipalities have filed a lawsuit in federal court saying ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, and others colluded to publicly downplay the risks of their fossil fuel products on climate change and are financially responsible for damages from the devastating 2017 hurricane season, which was made worse by global warming. The group of 16 municipalities filed what they called a first-of-its-kind lawsuit last week against about a dozen fossil fuel companies and others. The towns say the companies coordinated a multi-billion-dollar fraudulent marketing scheme to convince consumers that fossil fuel products do not alter the climate. That campaign ran contrary to the company's own studies showing their products accelerate climate change, resulting in more deadly storms, the lawsuit said. And 2 men who have been found guilty of assaulting the police this week, will spend Christmas in prison. In 2 separate cases, the men were sentenced to 6 and 9 months in prison respectively for disorderly behavior, resisting arrest, and assaulting a peace officer. 27-year-old Samuel Paraj pleaded guilty to the charges of assaulting a peace officer, resisting arrest, and disorderly behavior. He was sentenced to 9 months imprisonment for the offenses. In a separate matter, 25-year-old Rohit Lal was charged with the offense of assault and intent to resist arrest. Lal was sentenced to 6 months. And in other news, Raymond Jones, the Maikobi Village Potaro man who spent 9 years on remand for allegedly killing Gary Joseph without a trial, has sued the state for $3 million. 58-year-old Jones was on remand for the alleged fatally shooting Joseph with an arrow and bow on December 26, 2012, and he was freed by Justice Sandil Kasoon in July 2022. Jones wants the court to declare that the 9 years he spent on remand at the Camp Street and Lozignan prisons without a trial after he was charged with murder was in contravention to his fundamental rights guaranteed under the country's constitution. And the much-needed rehabilitation of the deplorable Santa Rosa Primary in Region 1 will soon get underway as a contract for the works has been awarded by the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board. NPTAB stated that on November 21st, contractor Breeze Enterprise was awarded a $26.4 million contract to do the job. We had reported that what prompted authorities to have the building repaired was a protest action by teachers and parents of the school over its deplorable state. The time has now moved on to 12 hours 7 in Guyana. We'll take a short break and return with your news.
You don't have to be a fountain of knowledge to help children with their schoolwork while they're at home. But you do have to be caring, understanding, loving, and patient. It's an unsettling time for everyone, but children still need a safe and secure environment. So don't overwhelm them with endless news items or problems. Keep them gainfully occupied and amused, exercised and rested. Protect our children. A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
Welcome back. Miners and businessmen working in the five-star Bakdam, Northwest District Region 1 are being forced to pack up and leave after a marauding Venezuelan gang invaded the area on Wednesday. They are now calling on the authorities to intervene and protect them as the gang continues its rapid invasion of the Guyanese mines. According to information, the gang is heavily armed with more than 30 men strong. It is believed that the gunmen might belong to the notorious Sindicato gang of Venezuela. The invasion reportedly started at Lena Landing, a part of Five Star that is close to the Venezuelan border. Since then, the gunmen have covered more ground and entered Paui's Landing, looting and robbing along the way. Meanwhile, an environmental permit for the government of Guyana's 300-megawatt natural gas power plant will be issued in a few weeks' time. This was the information shared with Opposition Member of Parliament David Patterson yesterday in the National Assembly, as the Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat responded to questions submitted to the House on October 18th last. Bharat, in a written response to Patterson regarding the issuance of a permit for the project, explained that not only has ExxonMobil received approval for the pipeline and natural gas liquids plant of 2020, which seeks to provide a statutory framework to govern contracts between buyers and sellers under credit sale and conditional sales agreements, was on Wednesday passed in the National Assembly. Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce Onij Waldron presented the bill for its second reading to the National Assembly. It was subsequently adopted and passed by the House. Minister Waldron informed the House that the bill benefited from widespread consultations, which were conducted with stakeholders interested in the hire purchase sector. 27 of the 30 clauses were amended, ensuring a balanced framework to protect consumers as well as investors. That should be as well as vendors. And with the time now moving on to 12 hours 11 in Ghana, we wrap things up